defense. The Cowboys completely shackled New York by holding them to only 137 yards in total offense. They also sacked Jet passer Matt Robinson 5 times to finish the season with the most sacks of any NFL squad. The Cowboy attack had few problems in solving the Jet defense, however, as they scored early and often. Right now, Dallas is in such a good groove that even fumbles can magically transform into touchdowns. Cowboys romp 30-7 and appear to be peaking at just the right time for the playoffs. At the other end of the spectrum are the San Francisco 49ers, possessors of pro football's worst record. But last week against Detroit, they had some moments of grandeur. Wide receiver Freddie Solomon, number 88, was pressed into emergency duty at quarterback when injuries beset the regulars, and the ex-signal caller from Tampa University started off most successfully. But it's been quite some time since Fred has quarterbacked on a regular basis, and it showed as the Lions' silver rush forced him into some costly errors. San Francisco turned the ball over 7 times, the most damaging being a fumble recovery by free safety Jimmy Allen, number 40, who turned the miscue into 6 points. Detroit won easily 33-14 to close out the season in fine fashion. After a slow start, the Lions suddenly got the fever, and they now appear to be real contenders for NFC Central Division honors in '79. The 2 finest rookies this season have been San Diego's sensational wide receiver John Jefferson and Houston's battering ram Earl Campbell. Under the dome last Sunday, both showed why they have graduated at the very top of this year's freshman class. Campbell became the first rookie to lead the league in rushing since Jim Brown did it in 1957, while Jefferson tied the seasonal mark for most touchdown receptions by a first-year player, 13. Thanks to these 2 talents, the game became a wide-open, high-scoring affair that seesawed back and forth for better than 3 quarters. But finally, San Diego quarterback Dan Fouts took charge. He threw for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns on the day, while leading his team to a 45-24 victory. By tying or setting several team passing marks, Fouts enabled the explosive Chargers to rack up over 500 yards in total offense against the playoff-bound Oilers. San Diego ended the year with their first winning season since 1969, notching victories in 7 of their last 8 games, while scoring 122 points in their final 3 contests alone. 1978 is over for the Chargers, but you can't blame them for being excited about next year's chances. In the Kingdome, the 16th week of the NFL season meant different things for both the Seahawks and the visiting Chiefs. For Kansas City, all that was left was a chance to begin next season with a win in the final game of this season, something they very nearly accomplished. While number 32 Tony Reed and his mates took a run at what would have been their 5th victory of the season, Seattle managed to produce more firepower, and not all of it came through their normal aerial bombardment. Number 24, Al Hunter, dashed for 133 yards of Seattle's 209-yard rushing effort, while Jim Zorn added to his 3-year-old Northwest legacy that has reached Paul Bunyan proportions. Number 10 passed for 256 yards while chopping the Chiefs down for Seattle's 9th win, the most ever by a 3-year-old expansion team. Seattle and Kansas City weren't the only teams playing this final Sunday for little more than personal achievement. The Buffalo Bills spent their last game against the Baltimore Colts, helping rookie Terry Miller become only the 10th rookie to surpass the 1,000-yard barrier. Miller helped to shuffle Buffalo towards a 21-14 victory, mainly because once again without Burt Jones, the punchless Colts had to rely on the success of Chinese fire drill football to produce points. While Baltimore lost without an injured Burt Jones, the New Orleans Saints won with a healthy Archie Manning. Number 8 concluded his first completely healthy season by passing his team over Tampa Bay 17-10. It was not only Manning's finest season, it was the Saints' best year ever with 7 wins. While the Buccaneers couldn't stop Manning, Pittsburgh managed to put a hold on Denver's quarterbacks by using a variety of blitzes. The Steelers are blitzing more because their front four hasn't been able to reach the passer very often. But against the Broncos, sending linebackers and safeties accounted for 6 sacks. This ramble-gamble style of attack contained Denver most of the day. The Steeler offense muscled in for 3 early touchdowns as both clubs headed towards the playoffs in a contest played more for pride than anything else. The difference proved to be 2 Terry Bradshaw touchdown passes, strikes that lifted Pittsburgh past Denver 21-17. These two battled in a contest with no postseason meaning. For the first time all year, the Chicago Bears got a chance to strut their stuff in a game with some significance. The Washington Redskins' hopes for a wild card spot hinged on winning this game, and at times they reflected the urgency of the hour. Each opportunity that presented itself managed to escape them, while Chicago seized 2 chances and cashed both for all they were worth. Walter Payton flashed to form on this 44-yard beauty to open the Bears' scoring, while Chicago's special teams closed its point production on a hustling 73-yard Steve Schubert punt return. The Bears were never threatened until late, when a ghost named Billy Kilmer stepped under center and scared some life into a morbid Redskin offense. Kilmer's miracle proved to be only a final hurrah as Washington was too late and a 14-10 loser. Cowboys romped 30-7 and appear to be peaking at just the right time for the playoffs. At the other end of the spectrum are the San Francisco 49ers, possessors of pro football's worst record. But last week against Detroit, they had some moments of grandeur. Wide receiver Freddie Solomon, number 88, was pressed into emergency defense. The Cowboys completely shackled New York by holding them to only 137 yards in total offense. They also sacked Jet passer Matt Robinson 5 times to finish the season with the most sacks of any NFL squad. Duty at quarterback when injuries beset the regulars, and the ex-signal caller from Tampa University started off most successfully. But it's been quite some time since Fred has quarterbacked on a regular basis. The Cowboy attack had few problems in solving the Jet defense, however, as they scored early and often. Right now, Dallas is in such a good groove that even fumbles can magically transform into touchdowns.